That's
can you imagine
hilarious.
getting married to somebody and as the bride comes in, they like play something besides "Here Comes the Bride" and the groom's just like, "Yeah, I can't do this. Like, why won't you marry me? Why are you canceling the wedding? I just can't marry you anymore."
No, that's what the reception's for. That's where all your fun intros are supposed to be. But yeah,
Marriage
I
Advice by
like the
Matt and
change.
Sean.
In a world where two retired vets decided their phone conversations about WWE and storylines would make a good podcast, only one podcast dares to predict the future, where every move, every feud, every moment is overanalyzed. Grab your number 2 pencils. Get ready to step into the squared circle. This is your front row seat to the storylines as you wish they were written. Welcome to the If We Had the Pencil podcast. Here are your hosts, Sean Green and Matt Jackson.
Welcome to the holiday edition of If We Had the Pencil podcast. I'm your host, as always, Sean Green. And with me, as always, Mr. Craptastic Internet. Hopefully he stays with us all night. The one, the only, Matt freaking Jackson. Matt, how the hell are you?
Good, man. How are you? I heard most of it, so I don't know. Internet's been acting stupid like the last hour. It's been great the last couple weeks, but no, it's good to be on here with everybody. And man, 2 days until Christmas, so things are winding down. The weather's down here is fantastic. I want to give a quick shout out to Mikey over at BC WrestlePod. I appreciate them having us on for their end of year specials. Go check it out. It's on YouTube and some other formats as well. BC Wrestle Podcast.
Trying not to sneeze on the mic, man. No, so yeah, again, like it's been a great weekend for us. Start off with SmackDown, which was kind of meh, and then we got some AAA this Saturday, and like you said, like we got to pop in with BC WrestlePod this week and do their year in review, which was awesome and a lot of fun. And like, you know, here we are on our normal night, as always, coming to you large and in charge. But yeah, no, Matt, all I got to ask you, man, how does Santa introduce his 3 girlfriends?
How does Santa introduce his 3 girlfriend? Ho, ho, ho.
Booyah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Surfing Santa.
You had the shirt. I had to. I couldn't help myself. So, you know what, man? Like, we got a lot to talk about. It's going to sound counterintuitive. So, folks, Matt and I talked before we went on. So, first off, last night's Raw was fan-freaking-tastic. And, you know, it was just so damn good. And, you know, so we got really excited about it. So much so, Matt pointed out to me before, he's like, dude, he's like, I can't tell you the last time you called me after a Raw. And I was like, that's a good point. You know, so like, yeah, just phenomenal. So because of the way our weekend went, well, first off, let's start with this. Matt, you got all the way through the AAA. I'm unfortunately still catching up. Stupid job. Why don't you tell the folks what you thought about the AAA show on Saturday?
I thought it was a lot of fun. The Wyatts and the Psycho Circus was wildly entertaining. Yes, it was silly. It was a comedy match, but it fit and it worked. And also, we get to see how good the Wyatts can work, going right from cheered the night before on SmackDown to getting booed in Mexico on a Saturday night. The main
Yeah, they
event,
got cheered when they came out, though. Like,
yeah,
the fans
I
appreciated
think,
them.
yeah, they do. But I think they were happy too that they were also coming from the back and finish it out in the arena. So that'll always get a pop. Man, El Vikingo versus Dragon Lee was like excellent. The main event was great. El Grande Americana, Alcano and Dominic are way over in Mexico. So it was a lot of fun. The undercard was really good. The 4-man tag it was a lot of fun. So, and the ladies, they didn't get a long time, but they got a lot in a short time. So really good show. WWE, you could do a 3 or slightly less than 3 hour show and have half a dozen matches in it. Just saying.
Yeah. No, it was what I've seen so far has been pretty epic. You know, but yeah, no, it was really entertaining. It kind of had fun with it. And we'll get into what kind of like one thing came out of it. And I talked to you about it last night that kind of like sucked a little bit because if y'all don't know, Raw was taped. Hey, dirty little secret, when you tape shows on Netflix, there's no commercials. Whew, that was fun. Now, you didn't get the wrestling during the commercials. I'm willing to make that sacrifice because, wow, the show just flowed and it just went, and you're just like, all right, cool. Let's keep it going. I was thrilled. So yeah, good times, good freaking times. And it was a blast. So let's get through SmackDown. So SmackDown kicks off, and apparently Aleister Black and Damian Priest are still going at it, along with Zelina Vega. And yeah,
They
it
need
was
to
like,
they
okay,
need to come to an end with this. There has to be a parting of the ways and soon.
yeah, I think it's time to move on. This has been one of the fatal flaws on like their shows with their lower card talent, which is, we saw it with, it's like the Me Chens of the world, right? Like, we get it, but you're kind of just there. And I feel like this feud, it was cool for a while. It made sense when Damian Priest came back, but now it's just dragging out. So it's
Yeah.
like, all right,
And if the intent was to
Dave
elevate
Coulier,
Black,
wrap it up.
yeah, I think the intent was to use it to elevate Black, but I think they've let it on go so long, it's kind of lost its steam, which is hurting Black. I think in the long run, I think you can build up Priest pretty easy because he's a fan favorite. But when you lose momentum with a guy like Black, it might be a little harder to build it back up. So hopefully they didn't overkill it and hurt him in the long run.
Yeah, I'm hoping not. So after that, we get Nia Jax, Lash Legend against the Kabuki Warriors, which is weird because I didn't know who to hate and who to like. And, really, it was the showcase for Lash Legend, who is going to be amazing. She is really freaking talented. Big time.
Yeah, I agree. But again, the match wasn't really that good. It was okay. This was a lackluster SmackDown for sure. So
It was. It was. And then at the end, you got Alexa and Charlotte getting, violence going on. And then after that, you get Julia and Alba Fire. And like, I'm going to say one thing. Alba Fire is really freaking good. And like, do I think she's championship worthy? No, at least not right now. I love her as part of the Secret Service, but I'd like to see more of her. I think she's good. For that, like I said, that little pool of your lower card guys and gals that, she's good. I like her. I enjoy watching her. And like,
your main actors don't perform as well if you don't have a good supporting cast. So Alba Fire is a part of that good supporting cast that helps the bigger stars. So agreed. But yeah, Julia does not excite me. Like she hasn't when she had a lot of hype when she came up and did some really good stuff, but boy, they've handcuffed her or something's going on. Like it's not exciting to watch her in the ring anymore. There's
nah,
something going on.
let's get into this because you and I talked about this last night, and so I mentioned it on last week's pod, and I'm gonna keep on saying it. So, folks, I am 100% convinced that we are right now in a transition between eras, right? Like, you had Attitude Era going to Ruthless Aggression into PG era, blah, 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 so on and such forth down the line. And like, I think it's important to note that because, it was a couple of months ago, Matt was pointing out, he was like, bro, the whole top of the card, like the tippity top of the card, he was like, they're all old. And it's true. The whole top of the card right now is pretty crusty. CM Punk's up there. Cody ain't no spring chicken. Drew McIntyre isn't all that young. Like there's a lot of, we'll call them chiseled vets at the top that have been around a hot minute. And like, so the reason I bring up the transition for the, between eras right now is we're going to get inundated right now with lots of young talent that's coming up from NXT or has been up on the roster for like a year or two. These are your future stars. And like, this ties into the Julia conversation because one of the things Matt and I were talking about was, so Julia and Stephanie Vakir have very interesting situations right now. So Stephanie Vakir comes out, the crowd hasn't fully connected onto her. certain crowds haven't fully connected to Stephanie Vakir. And it's annoying because it's like, she's so damn good, And then Julia hasn't connected with anybody, even with her little mouthpiece, whatever the hell her name is, right? And I think people got to be patient right now, because the one thing I told Matt was, we're in a building process right now. You could probably count on one hand, not looking at the old timers, how many people are bigger than life in WWE right now. We were kind of just fiddle-faddling with it. Your CM Punks are bigger than life. Drew McIntyre is bigger than life. Randy Orton is bigger than life. I'd argue Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, bigger than life. And, their characters are established. You know who the queen is. Regardless if she's face or heel, she's Charlotte Flair. And I think everybody's got to be a little bit patient, because this feeds into how Matt and I do this podcast. We don't watch NXT. We don't go into the indies. The only deviation we really make is watching AAA. And that's because we want to see the NXT wrestlers come up and really assess, how we feel about them in the moment. Are they ready? Does this person look like they're ready to pop? And we get that opportunity. But the problem is, when you have folks like us that only watch, main roster shows and PLEs, what you get is, they could have done all the greatest crap in the world down in NXT. They could have done the greatest stuff in New Japan. They could have done the greatest stuff anywhere around the world. But if I'm not following it, I don't care. I don't know. And I go through this with CM Punk. I'm not attached to CM Punk. I never saw one of his matches. I was deployed. I was in the field. It was everything. I never saw a CM Punk match until he made this comeback. So I knew of him, but I never saw him. So it's really important to kind of look at stuff through that prism. So if you're in the IWC and you're losing your crap, oh my God, they're doing all this horrible booking with Julia. It's no, she's not connecting yet. They haven't found how to connect her to the crowd. And the same thing, honestly, is kind of going with Vakir, but Vakir is a little ahead, so we gotta kind of keep this stuff in mind. And it's it's going to be a tough road to haul until they find the it thing with Julia, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah. And there's other wrestlers on the roster too that we could mention, but that's two really good examples. And I've seen when Julia first came up, she did some great stuff in the ring, and they got to find something for her to do. And I get it. They're using the IC and the U.S. women's titles kind of to give people opportunity to see how they do, like a test run. So just because Julia's U.S. title run wasn't very good, I don't think that means it can never be good. It just they just didn't have the right setup for her, and I don't think the fans are ready for her yet. So that could just be a bad timing decision, and just whatever. But
it's not necessarily a bad timing. It's about finding what
the
works.
Writers all we want, but it is what it is.
No, it's about making that connection with the fans, right?
Right.
The biggest argument that I hear for most of these call-ups when, they were somebody's favorite down in NXT is people are like, oh my God, they were so great down there. Well, that's great. I have no frame of reference. It's just another face on my TV right now. So I shouldn't be required to, I'll use the NFL as an example, right? I watch college football sparingly. And because I watch college football sparingly, I don't necessarily know all the players coming in the draft, right? You could tell me they're the greatest football player in the world in college, but very rarely will I know anything about them or have seen them. So until they get on my team, in my system, and I actually get to see them, sink or swim, buddy. And I'm not saying that for the wrestlers. It's a different complexity, but, they got to make a connection. And they got to build their story on the main roster.
Yeah. I think what it is well, they were so good in NXT. Why aren't they at the same level in WWE? Well, that's a whole nother level when you move up there. Does it happen in other pro sports where the number one draft pick becomes, one of the top stars in the league? Yeah. Has it happened in WWE? I'm yeah, but it's not the norm. So the norm is When someone's called up to the WWE roster, just like someone going from college to pro or AAA, baseball to Major League Baseball, they're not going to be the MVP the first year, more than likely. They could be
Yeah,
good.
no,
They're
and
not going to. And I think that's what people get upset about. Like they have that same level expectations that once their guy gets called up to main roster, that, well, why aren't they in the world title picture right away? So like Carmelo Hayes, I think they almost had me worried because it felt like Carmelo was kind of sitting in the back too long and kind of stalling out. Well, now look how good he's getting.
well,
I
we
mean,
kind of saw the ramp up with him, and like you kind of knew it was coming, and that's the thing too, right? Like I think we had a text chain going on with Mikey from BC Wrestling Pod, and I think the equivalency that I used was Batista, right? When Batista first came up to WWE, he was in a suit jacket with no sleeves holding a box for Devon Dudley. Like Batista did not walk in the door and just be who he is now or have the career that he had. No, he had to catch on. They put him with Ric Flair and Triple H and Randy Orton, and then all of a sudden it was like boom, 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 click, 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 click. And then all of a sudden it hit, all of a sudden the character built and all that stuff, and there was a connection. So, like, it's not uncommon, but people need to slow their roll. Just because they were bee's knees somewhere else, that person's got to be able to connect with the current audience. It's not just name recognition.
Kane was a dentist, a deranged dentist.
Yeah, you brought that up.
I love using that example. It's just a good one, especially because now Glenn Jacobs is funny when he pokes fun at his Isaac Yankem character. So it's a good reference to use because basically, like, yeah, we're going to give you like this craptastic gimmick that's never going to work. And then he comes back as Kane and like the difference. So people be patient.
So, Matt, what am I saying I want next year to be? What am I saying I want next year to be?
The year of the
For
heel.
WWE. Damn spanky. I want it to be the year of the heel. So,
So glad you came to the
if y'all
dark side.
haven't been following the baby mama drama, like Cody Rhodes is now like attacking Drew McIntyre at his house. Well, Nick Aldis is there kind of negotiating to get Drew McIntyre back. And McIntyre is, of course, playing it's not a safe work environment, which is freaking brilliant. And like, I want it to be the year of the heel. And honestly, Cody showing heelish tendencies. Like he basically told off his boss in the ring in this segment. He was just like, you work for me. And I was like, that's heel. And it's like, but on the flip side, it's like, it's such a great way to get the belt off of Cody. And because I want the year of the heel, I want Braun Breaker to beat CM Punk. I want Drew McIntyre to take that belt off of Cody. I want that. I want Drew to have a run in front of an effing audience. I will die on that hill. That guy deserves it.
Yes.
How many times has he got to be like the second fiddle, man? Like, even when he had his match with Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle, he should have went over. I'll die on that hill. I don't give a crap that we ended with Cody Roman 2 and we got all this other mishmash of shit. Like, no. Quarter for the swear jar.
Yeah, so here's the
the
thing, and I want to kind of elaborate on what you're saying by kind of directing this towards some comments we got on social media in the last week. A lot of people don't like this view that Sean has about the year of the heel, which I'm a heel guy, so I'm pleased as peach that like Sean's coming over to the dark side. I mean, I do like the baby faces as well, but I've been predominantly a heel fan. I love good heel work. So with that, shoot, I almost lost my thought here for a second. So we were talking about the Cody and the Drew thing. So the people that have been commenting on our social media is like, we had the heel thing with Roman Reigns for 3 years. I'm like, yeah, but they unified the titles. Roman was never there. We got very few title defenses. We didn't get really any clean title defenses. So, we're not going to unite the titles.
Well,
here,
you also
folks.
didn't get dialogue. You didn't get dialogue from Roman either. It was like every 2 or 3 weeks you would get a freaking splash screen on the SmackDown that would be like, Roman Reigns will grace us with his presence. And I get it. You want him to be an attraction, blah, blah, blah. I don't
but then
care.
he comes out for
Like,
the last 2 minutes of the show. Superman punches somebody and just poses with his finger in the air. Like that doesn't push the needle for me. But if you have heels that are now dominant, and like you said, you had mentioned even like Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble, so you get one of your WrestleMania matches. You can get Roman and whoever, and then you got Punk and Cody fighting over each other, and plus, you got to look in the mix. You say Roman Reigns at winning the Royal Rumble. What a shock it'd be if Randy Orton was to be booked to win the Royal Rumble. Totally would throw like the world off its axis, I think, as far as that whole picture. Especially if Randy wins it by
anybody other than the top ones. But like just to be clear, like as we talk about the year of the heel, when I say the year of the heel, I'm really talking about from now until WrestleMania, right? Like after WrestleMania, I gives a hoo-hoo. We can start the new season. In fact, this podcast starts a new season at WrestleMania. But the bigger thing is that I want it. It's not so much about Drew and Braun Breaker going over and having the titles. I want Punk. Look, wrestling's always better when your babyface is chasing. It's just proven, right? It takes a remarkable babyface to maintain momentum. And like, I'll say it, Cody's run this year has been meh.
Yeah.
Like
the second one's been pretty.
The only time Cody's compelling is pissed off Cody. Like outside of that, Cody's been meh. Like he's been there. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't need heel Cody, right? Like we still need somebody to kind of take the interviews and do all this other horse crap and everything else, right? But what I need is I want Cody, how compelling would it be going through WrestleMania season and somebody else goes over at the Rumble and now you're down to Elimination Chamber. And now Cody and Punk only, like I said, Thunderdome, man, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Like only one of them can get a title defense. Well, only one of them can win that WrestleMania main event out of the 2. So like, it's so compelling. And if I was writing it, they would be going all through WrestleMania season and just some way, somehow they were just getting in each other's way because they're feeling the pressure. They're feeling the urgency. And then the closer you get to WrestleMania and one of them doesn't have a match, then you really, you have the guy we kind of saw this with like a KO like a few years ago where like KO is like,
even better, Sean, even better. They're both going to the Elimination Chamber because only one can get the spot, but they focus so much on each other that neither one of them wins. They're both out of the title picture.
I'm good with that too.
And then what you do is they turn against each other, and you could have a big match with Cody and Punk at WrestleMania. You can run that.
I know. It opens up so many doors that are more compelling. Whereas if we go through it and a heel wins the Rumble and a heel runs in an Elimination Chamber, it's just like, I don't care. And it's just exhausting and boring. So I want
again,
I want drama.
And I don't see WWF producers and writers having neither Punk or Cody having a world title match or holding a title at WrestleMania. I can't see them doing it unless they wrote it
Punk
so good. No,
Punk
he doesn't
need it. I'll die on that damn hill too. Punk doesn't need the title.
We talked about this for 20 minutes last night. Just like Gunther didn't need to be seen as last opponent.
Yeah, it didn't really do much for him, but we'll get into that. We'll get into Raw. But yeah, so whatever, heelish Cody. And look, you don't have to turn Cody full-blown heel. We kind of saw where he walked that fine line with Kevin Owens, right? Like leading up to their stuff where like Kevin Owens was kind of getting under his skin and Cody kind of had to go into angry Cody, if you will, and kind of do his thing. So after that, we get Carmelo Hayes.
Nice guys can get pissed off and fight dirty too, That would be an element of realism with Cody. Like, yeah, he's a good guy, he's a nice guy, but sometimes he's had enough and he'll do what he has to do. So nothing wrong with that. So yeah, you can get some of the
I had an Owen Hart flashback.
Clean.
I had an Owen Hart flashback. Enough is enough. you know. See, I don't know why Owen Hart just started yelling in my head, but yeah. So let's move on. Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov, DIY. It was fun.
It was.
You, those four, you can put them in a ring, and we'll see where it goes from there. I think Carmelo Hayes and Dragunov got a 1-on-1 for the U.S. title this Friday,
Yes, they
which
do.
is taped.
Yes, it is.
But USA will make you sit through commercials, so don't get your hopes up. USA is not going commercial free. Netflix gave us a gift. USA is going to give you a gift, but you ain't going to like it.
Sometimes once in a while, if it's pre-taped, they'll give you the main event commercial free as like a special treat, like good boy, good dog. Here's your treat. Once every 3 months.
I have my special treat. My kids made me hot chocolate.
I know.
Like, right before we went on, they're like, "You want some hot chocolate?" Hell yeah, it's Christmas time. So
Sean for the win.
Damn right. So the last match we get like the Wyatt Six. We get Loomis and Gacy versus MFTs, and it was a good match. And honestly, it's ended in probably one of the better brawls I've seen in a while. Like, brawls sometimes are just lame. You know what I mean? Like, we're just kind of all over the place. This brawl had some beef to it, and I liked it a lot. Like, it was a good brawl. Well. Yeah.
The way they had certain people pairing off, and it was, they didn't rush right to, Talatonga and Eric Rowan right away. That took a minute, and then, they beat up on Uncle Howdy, so we got to see Uncle Howdy be a little vulnerable. So, and then he came back at the end. Yeah, no, that was, and what was so good is he didn't have like 400 security running down, just getting like tossed off, like swat
the
away
worthless
like
security.
Yeah, go away, mosquito. Like Rob Gronkowski swatting away defenders as he runs down the field. But
SmackDown ended good. We saw the Wyatt Six on AAA. It was just all around greatness. So, all right, fast forward. Let's get to Raw because we got a lot to talk about Raw. By the way, for saying we're gonna blast through SmackDown, we got a good 20 some odd minutes out of SmackDown. So that's pretty impressive. Or we just are old and like to talk. One of the two. So
gift of
could
gab.
Be both.
Could be. But man, what a killer show this is. I'm gonna just preface it. This is killer show right here.
So the show kicks off, right? And Rhea Ripley's first one out, okay, cool. And I knew she was wrestling the Kabuki, one of the Kabuki warriors, and I didn't put it in my head right away. I was half-ass paying attention. I suck. Your host. But yeah, so all of a sudden I hear Asuka's music. I was like, whoa. We're starting a match. We're starting a Raw, Holiday Raw, taped Raw off with Asuka and Rhea freaking Ripley. I was like, that's PLE quality, man. That's how you start an effing show. And this is where we get what we're talking about, man. This transitional era. And Rhea Ripley's it. You know who Rhea Ripley is. Like her or hate her, whatever, you can, but you know who Rhea Ripley is. And Asuka's the same way. Asuka proves that characters such as Julia can build up, but Asuka's a better communicator with body language and words. It's kind of the Io Sky thing. When Io says something, it's meaningful. And, even though you're not going to get a soliloquy in English, but you're going to get quality out of her, meaningful stuff.
Well, Asuka's she's also been in the business 20 years, and I was talking a little bit about this at our long discussion after Raw last night. I love how Rhea Ripley, as the person, is never complacent. She doesn't let that character remain the same. She's always looking for something. And it's not about if she gets another tattoo, it's another move. There was something she did in that match where Asuka got thrown to the ring, and Rhea just slid out of the ring to the floor, but it was fluid motion. She slid, didn't hit the mat with a noise, and then just came to the floor. And as soon as she hit the floor, she was in forward motion. The way she sells is so good. And I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Asuka because Asuka's fantastic, but I'm just wanting to focus on
you can.
No, but Rhea she's always working. Like you see, like she's always adding something to her repertoire, or she's always making sure that she's making like her opponent look good. The match itself was solid, but I just, you know, I'm like, that's cool. Like she's not resting on her laurels. She's always trying to be better because this business, that's right when you get comfortable is right when you things tend to not go your way. So kudos on Rhea, and again, Oscar was fantastic last night. Whole match was fun. I didn't care for the finish. It's an overused finish with the distraction and the reverse cradle
Yeah.
with the it's they've done it to death.
Well, they do it to death, and they're always going to do it to death. There's just certain tropes that they're always going to go back to until it doesn't work, right? Like,
I know, but
they're going to
they
make you
pounded
so
that.
sick of it, and then something's going to get countered, and then you're going to be like, oh, crap, you know? It's just to suck you in. They're just wheeling you in, man, like a fish, right? Like, you got to pull it in, give them a little
It's the
line.
easiest way to put. Yeah, it's just the easiest way to get somebody over without hurting the person getting beat. It's one of them.
Yeah. All right. So after that, Lynch comes out, and what did Matt and I texted the exact same phrase, like at the same time. It was like she's incredible or
incredible.
something.
Yeah. Yep, that's
Like,
exactly.
oh my god, it was right at the exact same time as we were watching Becky Lynch's promo, and we're like, and spoiler alert, campers, when you go over to watch BC WrestlePod, I'll give you one spoiler, and that is Matt and I agreed on female wrestler of the year, and that was Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
So keep in mind, we're WWE only. Yeah. So no, she was cutting, like, she's cutting her promo. I'm just like, oh my god, this is so effing good. And then Maxine comes out and drops a great promo for Maxine, and I'm just like, the show is so good so far. Like, Maxine had a meaningful one. Maxine took a shot, but Maxine got payback. Oh, Matt, it was so effing good.
I loved it. The way Maxine gave it back. And the thing is, it felt natural. It wasn't like she was trying to force it over. She didn't like scream at Becky. It was like very even keeled, and it just the interaction was good. And like I was telling you last night, like yeah, Becky popped her with a good slap, but I'm like, man, if they're trying to build up Maxine to be this like uber tough girl in training, like she can't go down like hit the deck because of a slap. When Becky after she gloats, she goes in and starts beating up on Maxine, I start noticing like Maxine's covering up, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, I get it now. This is how they're going to do Maxine. She's not going to beat you with strikes and punches. She's just going to like learn how to escape that cover up, and then she's going to get a hold of you, and she's just going to start grounding and pounding you and submitting you and all that stuff, which we saw like the transition from getting beat on to getting Becky into the ankle lock and making her tap.
Yep.
It was
Drug her
cool.
right into the middle of the ring, too. Like, there was so much good. And then Becky's trying to squirm out of it, and she drops down on it to really lock it in. I was like, oh, this is so good. So freaking good. I was so happy with it.
So, like you talked about Fakir, like now, like Maxine's getting buy-in from the fans. You could definitely hear that last night. Like when she came out, like they popped. I saw something on some social media site, and they said they need to have Maxine get new music, and I agree. They got to stop the Alpha Academy music, because even if they're not splitting them up, I don't know what they're doing. Like Maxine needs to be presented as something fresh and new, and I think her music and her
you can get away with it. They've been getting away with it. You can get away with it because they've been getting away with it from like Judgment Day, right? Like if you're coming out with a group, you come out as Alpha Academy. If you're not coming out as a group, you come out to your Maxine Dupree, because, you know, after this, like, it just, I loved the whole segment. Loved it. And it's even better because there was no commercials.
And the fans bought into it. They loved it too. The fans had full buy-in on it. So that's a big thing. Now they're really getting connected to Maxine. So kudos to Maxine. Hard work pays off.
Oh no, absolutely. Like, if there was a category for most improved wrestler, it's her. Fuck. Maybe her or Raquel. All right, one of the two. So after that, we get Javon Evans and Ryo Americano, which I admit it, I'm okay with the Americano. Not his flunkies, but like what Ludwig Kaiser has done with the Americano character is just amazing. And the worst part about it is he's so over in Mexico, like
Yeah.
insanely over. And he's getting over with the WWE fans too, because like I was watching them as they were coming down the ring, like his two cronies are just kind of like going down, and he's, not quite the Penta thing, but it, how do I put this? He still has his Kaiserisms, right? Like the way he carries himself in certain ways, you can see Ludwig Kaiser coming out of Americano, but like he's walking down the ring and he's tapping people like this, like, this like little limp wristed flail. And I'm just like, oh man, that group is going to go face so soon. Yeah. You're
Well,
like,
the thing
when
was,
him and Dom
so
fully flip on each other.
yeah, that's coming real soon because we got a taste of that at AAA. So yeah, if you want to get a little bit of a preview into what might be going down the line with Dominic Mysterio and El Grande Americano, watch the main event of the AAA show from this past weekend. But yeah, it was. So the best part of this match, and I'm not taking anything away from Javon Evans by any means or Reno, was the banter between Michael Cole and Corey Graves, with Corey trying to explain
The
the
planet.
the history of Rayo and the Americanos, and Michael Cole comes out like, "Well, I've searched
Different internet.
Wikipedia, different internet." Like I'm like, but it was so quick, like he didn't have to think about it, like he was waiting for Cole to ask that question, say something, just so he could be like, "Different internet."
Commentary was so on their game, especially during this match, and like we got a little bit of an acknowledgement that like Corey Graves is kind of the voice, WWE's voice of AAA, and like, he's just, and I love how he walks this fine line where like they're unmasked, they're shrouded in mystery. Cole, I don't know what to tell you. Like the way he will educate you, but like when it comes to like, there's no history for Ryo or any of them, so he's just like, "Yup," Like,
Well,
so
this
it
is why
was, the
I like
commentary
Corey.
was effing brilliant.
So like Corey Graves is supposed to be kind of a heelish announcer, right? Not as bad as he used to be. But he still says like outlandish things, but they're funny. And it's like you can laugh
Yeah.
at it. But when like Wade Barrett or JBL starts saying like wacky crazy stuff, I find myself just like bro, shut up, you sound stupid. But like Corey has a knack for like being able to say like initially crazy things and still be funny. Jesse Ventura used to be really good at it, but now he can't seem to make it through an episode of Saturday Night's Main Event without getting like pulled off the air. If he won it
It was a little
17
rough on
times,
the
he
last
lost
one.
to 17. Yeah, yeah, he got pulled. I think right after that, they're like, "Yeah, we're done, Jess. Go back
Just, yeah, it was like it might be time just to put him over on the, the little, the kids table that they have at the Saturday night's main event, and not at the big boys table. Like it might be time.
Jesse should be
So,
relegated to one of the legends sitting ringside that just nods and waves for like 4 seconds." Yeah.
so we get Stephanie Vakir, we get Roxanne, or not Roxanne, Raquel Rodriguez, and then they both get their ass beat by your girl Nikki Bella. And like the best part about all this is the new look for Nikki Bella. Like, it's time. I've been screaming about this from the hilltops. I literally, after this happened, I think I texted you. I was like, "Hey, I think WWE is watching our podcast again because we have been crapping on her hard." And I
Change the
think
music.
if you take note,
Change the music.
she didn't come out to music this time, and there was no closing music after her promo either.
True story.
Nothing was played. I'm willing to wager that new music's coming for Nikki Bella, and it's better be something a little harder than whatever that bubblegum crap that she's been coming out to. Like, it just, as a face, that music works, right? Like, it's weird because, like, Tiffany Stratton's got a similar vibe, but her character kind of fits in that heel or face. When she comes out.
Nikki Bella's theme song sounds like a theme show for like a Nickelodeon preteen comedy. That's what that's about what it comes across as.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But no, I like that they kind of put an
Tiffany's
edge on
also
her.
in her music is very young and poppy, but Tiffany Stratton's in her mid-20s and her character's very that way, very poppy. Where Nikki Bella is in her early 40s, and now I guess allegedly a cougar. So I guess she's got a 22-year-old athlete boyfriend or something like that. Good for her, whatever. Good, it takes me off the list.
Whatever. Oh, thank God, Matt, because we
I
know she
kept
was
telling,
coming down your door.
telling her I'm taken, I'm happily married. Like, get away. Like, no. And your music sucks.
You know music. Then maybe we'll talk. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
I
like I,
really
said,
like
the
you,
look
but
for
it's this
her.
music thing. Yeah.
I just can't get past the music. You
It's
fix
not
the look.
you.
I just can't
It's
get
not
past
you.
the music.
It's your music. Worst breakup line ever.
It's not you. It's your intro. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Oh my
Can you
God,
imagine,
that's
can you imagine
hilarious.
getting married to somebody and as the bride comes in, they like play something besides "Here Comes the Bride" and the groom's just like, "Yeah, I can't do this." Like, why won't you marry me? Well, why are you canceling the wedding? Like, your intro was terrible. I just can't marry you anymore.
No, that's what the reception's for. That's where all your fun intros are supposed to be. But yeah, no,
Marriage advice
I
by
like the
Matt and
change.
Sean for no extra charge. Free marital advice on the
Yes.
podcast. Yes. Don't. Yeah. Change your intro if it's not working. Change your intro.
All right. So after that, we get Bailey and we get Roxanne Perez, which was a great match. But like the highlight of the match was like, Bailey getting the snot slapped out of her, and like, who's the the Grand Slam champion? And like all of a sudden, it was like she just started laughing maniacally. I love this thing. Like, I want like it. I just have Lyra and Valkyria just sitting right next to Bailey, and like when Bailey starts, yeah, this ain't working, she'd just be like, whack, like, and like jar her into a whole new personality. What a great gimmick that would be. Like, Lyra and Valkyria's whole purpose in being is just to slap the crap out of Bailey to get her to change characters. Let's do that. I'm down for that. Like, that would be so much fun.
I just have visions of Three Stooges
Bailey's
in my head,
dragging.
which is
Look at it. Her legs trailing behind her. Whack. Oh, you won now.
when that does-
Slap her again, and now she's the hugger. Give me it. Give me it all.
it's like when the record used to skip on the jukebox and you'd kick the frickin' jukebox to get the record to stop skipping.
It's the old CD players. You remember the old Walkman CD players?
Yeah.
Where like if you were like sitting there and like as a kid you would be on a bus or whatever and you hit a bump and like your whole song would be like you're like catch and you're like balancing it just right. Like, give it a nudge. Give it a nudge. Yeah. It's like an old Nintendo system. Blow on the cartridge. But no, it was great. The match was fun, but like the fact that Bailey got to go over just because Lyra like changed her character by slapping the crap out of her was just epic. So epic.
No,
and then we get this teaser with this miscommunication between Liv and Raquel Rodriguez. And
they stuffed
we had
a
some
lot
thoughts
there.
on this lesson.
Yeah, and you had a thought that Liv is going to be the odd one out, that it may not be Raquel.
So, I do. Nope.
Huh?
I personally think the way this is all going to go down is Liv is going to try to blame Raquel. Raquel's already salty. We saw it in the backstage segment, but Liv is going to try to blame Raquel. And like, what's going to happen is all the Judgment Day folks that have been around, while Liv was hurt are going to start to go like, well, no, you're coming in and you're changing everything up. You just walked in like you still own the shop. You're like, you're new here. Like, you're just getting back in and now you're just acting like nothing changed, and then that'll lead to Dom being torn between the Judgment Day and Liv, and be great. That's the way I would do it.
Absolutely, because the easy way would just be that for Liv to get tired of Roxanne and boot her out, and then like want to get a backward teammate with Raquel, but I don't think it's going to work that way. I'd like to see this and let it take some time. Like, please don't have them break up in the next month. Like, slow build it so we can add some layers to it and have fun and see the dialogue and, the internal conflicts. I mean, shit, they've been teasing the breakup of the Judgment Day for like, what, 18 months? Like, they've been breaking up since they
Yeah,
started.
probably.
So, yeah, keep it going.
No, I'm all good for it. I'm all good for it. Like, I think there's a lot of good story that you can tell there. I think that, yeah, I'm all for it, man. Like, whew, yeah, I think the other thing that you got to keep in mind when you're thinking through this storyline is when Liv got hurt, Raquel really stepped up her game. Raquel made herself a star because she wasn't behind Liv anymore, and that's a thing. Right? Like, so like the whole dynamic is Liv is looking at Raquel as who she was before Liv got hurt, whereas Raquel's like, no, I've grown past that. So it's gonna be a real great dynamic there.
Yeah.
And obviously it's leading to a head of those two going at it, but one of them will be out. And I think it's Liv.
Yeah. I think so too, but again, let it have some legs. Let it take its time. It'll just be even better when they do that because you can have it. They've been doing it where they're about ready to split up and they work it out and they get back together and they're fine for a little bit. So yeah, let them be a dysfunctional family for a while. We like that stuff. This is reality TV, so have some fun with it.
Well, and I think that's big, right? Like, I do think that's big because the 3-week cycle shit's got to go. Period. Another quarter for the swear jar. It's got to go. Period. Like, I can't stand it because, like, I want long-term storytelling, and there's such intricacies with the Judgment Day that we should be able to tell that story over a lengthy period of time. And so after that, your boy comes out, says one line. I made John Cena tap out like a little bitch. Gets a lot of boos. He laughs at everybody. He goes back, gets ugly looks. CM Punk stares him off. Matt's happy because this is my kind of heel. And, like,
Why you have to
mad.
make me look like I ate lead paint as a child while I celebrate it?
Well, you are in your 50s, so you probably did.
Knowingly,
No, I get it.
unknowingly, probably. Yeah, I just liked it. Like he's laughing at the fans, he's rubbing their nose in it. It's like, oh, dog pooped on the carpet, rubbing their face in. I loved it. He said basically the same thing he said last week, but he gave it a little twist. Like, I don't know why you boo me. Like, I mean, because he's the heel that said he was going to do what he was going to do, and I like the heat he's getting. And then you brought up a point like they need to stop doing that. And I said, yes, unless they have Gunther come out and do it one more time next week. And he gets jaw jacked over it. And Sean and I kind of threw a couple of people's names back and forth on who should be Gunther's first real opponent. And I'm a Gunther guy. And we came to the decision that it should be Rey Mysterio. And Sean even brought up the fact that, like, Rey wins first match out. And it's the Gunther slips out a banana peel, like you said. So Ray catches him with a cradle or a quick roll up. After getting beaten up for however long, and then Ray can just roll out the ring and celebrate. And Gunther stands there like, what just happened? And it doesn't really hurt Gunther. So I'm telling you, we talked a lot last night after Raw. So like we should have put that to podcast last night, but we do like Sean says, we like to digest things for a day, but
Gotta digest because stuff changes. But no, I agree. I think that
was a great idea.
If he comes out
that we have,
and
yeah, great idea.
Yeah, I think if you let him come out, try it one more time, and then finally Ray has had enough, and you guys, everyone's got to realize the dynamic, right? It's not just that it's Rey Mysterio, it's that Gunther is this giant brick shit house, quarter in the jar. Like, Ray is like, smaller, quicker, faster, but like he's not a power guy. And like
much
the
smaller.
ultimate slap in Gunther's face is losing to a scrawny little, little dude like Rey Mysterio. So like that would be the ultimate way to do that. But if they carry on with this, he just comes out, drops the same line, and he just gets, first off, like, one of my biggest gripes that I was saying was the crowd doesn't know what to do with him, right? The crowd does not know what to do with him because, we were getting "you tapped out" chants and all this other crap, and we were just like, what's that got to do with the price of tea in China, man? Like, why are we doing the "you tapped out" chants? Like, he just tapped out John Cena and you're doing "you tapped." The crowd hasn't hooked onto him yet. And this is what kind of sparked that whole conversation, which is there isn't a connection with Gunther with the crowd yet, right? Face, heel, doesn't matter. There just isn't that it where the crowd can kind of sink their teeth in with him. And like when we keep on going with this minimalist style with Gunther, which is fine, it fits the character, but you have to find something for the crowd to latch onto. And like you're not getting that right now. And that's my biggest problem with Gunther right now. Like people don't know what to do with him. And like, I'm gonna be nice, Matt. I'm gonna be nice, but crowds are a bunch of lemmings. Like, we all know this. I do it too. How many of us do the whoa when Cody's coming out, right? Like,
Yeah.
How many
So,
of
like-
us have yeeted in our living rooms? It doesn't matter. We're all lemmings. It's not, but the problem is when it comes to chants and stuff with the crowds, people just do what they are expected to do. We're expected to boo Gunther. So are you booing Gunther because you don't like Gunther? Are you booing Gunther because that's what you think you're supposed to do? There's
Yeah.
a difference.
I mean, if anything,
And,
if they want to be copying what they think they should be calling him, Adam Pearce gave him a perfect word Monday Night Raw last week to call him an a-hole. There should be asshole chants
agree.
out the door. That would make sense because now you can identify because Gunther kind of is an asshole.
Yes.
So,
but we're not getting that, and the crowd's just
right.
boo.
should've.
They're trying to give him the Dom. They're trying to give him the Dom treatment, like when Dom was really like face of the sun, like hot heel, and like he couldn't even get a word out. Like, and it was for no fault of Dom. He literally could not get a word out because they were drowning him out.
Right.
Like, you're not going to get that with Gunther. And like, Gunther's more commanding as a person and as a character that he should be able to push through that. So like, it's very frustrating when we're getting like one line and out and just laughing at the people that are booing him. It's just like, all right. And then we know we're getting the stink eyes from the CM Punks and the Rey Mysterios and yeah, got it. But it's, I promised, and I will continue to promise that I said I will give it time to see where they go with it. But if they come out with the same crap next week, I am probably going to throw things at my TV. So I'll have Nerf darts here so I don't break my TV. But
what an end of year podcast that'll be.
Behold the hole in my TV. So nah, it's a worthy conversation and it's something to keep an eye on. I agree that like the whole Gunther thing hasn't come to fruition yet, but it's really a question of where you're going with this. And hopefully it sets up something for the 5th. I hope it's Ray. I would like to see Gunther lose, but lose to a small guy. Like, I think that would be kind of a kick in the teeth and kind of knock him down a peg, right? Like, I don't need him to tap out. No. Because the problem is like during Gunther's run, since he came to the main roster, he's just been an unstoppable machine. You've booked him like he's Brock Lesnar, but he's not Brock Lesnar. And like, while you understand he has power, he should not be infallible.
So the thing
that's the biggest problem. They wrote themselves in a corner.
If we say that we'd have Ray go over Gunther, Ray has to pay for that. Otherwise, Gunther loses. If you want to keep the heat on him, Ray's got to pay either a post-match attack or the next week or something where Gunther's got to hurt Ray. He's got to draw sympathy and like, even if they kayfabe put Ray out for like, on the shelf for a few weeks, and that's when you bring another one of this crew in. Like, I'm going to take Ray's spot, and we'll see what goes from there. But you just can't have like Ray win, and then it's like, okay, now what do we do next with Gunther? Like, Ray wins, but Ray pays in the end.
No,
and that you got to keep your heat on the heel.
No, that's what it should be. That's what it should be. But what I don't want is I don't want to go in. And some people will love this, and I disagree with it. I don't want to go in and have everybody going in, looking at Gunther and just be like, oh, he's up against a legend, he's gonna beat him. Like, it shouldn't be like that. He needs chinks in the armor. Like, there has to be chinks in the armor for him. Like, if you're gonna make him a compelling character, right? Like, every now and again, he has to get his comeuppance, and his comeuppance cannot come at the hands of Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, right? Like, no, we need some legit, like, you know, if you're gonna go top of the roster, that's fine, but you can't beat everybody. You need to get slapped down a little bit because that's how you make rivalries, and that's how you make Gunther compelling as a character. Because like he won't be compelling if he just rip roars through everything. You know, he doesn't cut great promos. He's not a compelling individual. And yes, his in-ring work is out off the charts, and I appreciate it. But as a character, I need something. And I think him losing to Ray would like kind of, and then him just losing his crap, you know, going out of character to lose his crap because usually he's in control. Instead of he beats Ray, he walks out, he laughs, blah, 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 blah. And if we're gonna go that route, I'm done with him.
I
Done.
think we saw.
Like,
I think one of the
yeah.
matches with Gunther that I saw, we saw some other layers of Gunther, was when he lost at SummerSlam, when he got his last match before he went to have sinus surgery. The show that Gunther did the blade job, I think that was SummerSlam, and you know, you kind of saw that because like there was an element to him, especially when he saw his own blood. Like he didn't like shrug it off like he was a tough guy. He like kind of freaked out, like he was in shock. Like, I can't believe I'm bleeding. Like, those are like the little layers, and it came off like really convincing. Like, okay, like he's not this stoic guy. Like there's things like he's human like the rest of us. Things freak him out. Him realizing that he's hurt and bleeding like freaks him out. Like, I want to see a little bit more of that, like where you see a more human layered side of Gunther rather than just the chop and kick and submission master and suplex piece. Like, I want to see him like handle adversity and like get flustered and frustrated because it just adds more layers.
He
to the
never
character.
really has had adversity.
No,
He's
'cause
lost
even when
matches,
he lost to
but
Jey,
they never
he
led
lost
to
to Jey
adversity.
Uso at WrestleMania, and then he was like off TV for like a month, right? He was off TV for a while after WrestleMania.
That's my point. Like, he's never
then when he
faced
lost to
adversity.
Punk-
There was no follow-up.
Right. So, and then after he lost to Punk, he was scheduled to have some time off for medical procedures. When he lost, like, you knew there was no rematch after, that was it. So, yeah, that's what I would like to see too. As much as I like Gunther, I want to see him I want to see that character kind of adapt, kind of like what I said with Rhea Ripley. Like, you always got to keep trying to push forward and do something different, but stay true to character. So that's what
So
we'll talk about this more next week because we're going to talk about what we would put in for 2026. That's our wish for 26.
yeah, we're next week for everybody tracking. We'll talk about it at the end of the pod. Next week is going to be our New Year's resolutions for WWE, not ours.
That's it.
I'm not going to tell you I'm going on a diet because I like the insulation. But no, I'm not going to, it's not our New Year's resolutions, but what we think WWE's New Year's resolution should be. And one side note, we kind of forgot to talk about it, but we talked about it last night, which is one problem with a taped show is this. So those of you that aren't tracking, Dom hurt his shoulder at the AAA event, but there was a backstage segment and he's just chilling with the Judgment Day, and you're like, well, he's kind of hurt. I'm half expecting, like, when they go live again, I'm expecting Dom to come out and be like, my deadbeat dad beat me up and tried to end my career and blah, blah, blah. Typical Dom stuff. And it'll be great. It'll be wonderful. But yeah, that's what I expect out of Dom. So, exciting times. But we'll get into the final match. So the final match is Rey Mysterio. It is CM Punk. It's Austin Theory and Bronson Reed. So the whole setup to the Austin Theory thing is nice because even Paul Heyman did a good job of convincing us he didn't know it was Austin Theory. And like Austin Theory dropping the line that like, no, I had to show you what I was capable of before I revealed myself. I needed you to see what I could do. And I was like, on it. Love it. He's in business for himself, which is essentially what he said in his conversation backstage, which was, nah, I'm taking my opportunities now. And I'm like, do it. And I loved everything about Austin Theory in this. Everything in this match. I love Bronson Reed too. And, this goes back to the era conversation, right? I know a lot of people initially kind of craft all over the Vision. They're like, I don't get it. This is what it was meant to be. And Paul Heyman said what we've been saying for months, which is, where were you before I grabbed you? And now, he said to Bronson Reed, you're main eventing and beating Roman Reigns, Braun Breaker. You have a title match against CM Punk. Look at your competition. And what did I say? As soon as it started, I was like, it was the easy button to get those guys into the top tier competition. And I'm telling you right now, I'm 100% convinced that those young wrestlers that are in the Vision are going to be your foundation for this next era. Braun Breaker,
100%.
Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul. All four of them are going to be your base. Promise you.
Yeah, they're all what? He's in early 30s at most, and then again, you got other guys as well. Carmelo Hayes is young. Javon Evans, my God, who's the other guy that he teamed with on the Saturday's Main Event show? Slater. He'll come up at some point. We got Obafemi. Like, there's future's bright. You can wear shades. You might have to wear shades. It might be so bright.
Yeah.
But, the match was good. I really like. I'm so glad. Like, Theory's got a different look, and yes, everybody thinks he looks like Justin Timberlake with the shaved, the crew cut and the beard, whatever. There's nothing Vincey left looking about. Yeah. Go get a box. Anyway, so.
No, he looks. Yeah.
But like
he's not.
I'm saying,
he's not definitely not the cute.
No. He ain't going to be pulling no selfies anymore. He's not going to walk around with his selfie stick. Like, this is going to be ass-kicking Austin Theory. Like, and I like it. I like his new look, and we're going to talk about the new look a little bit when we get to what we think. Sean had a great idea. He started talking about it, and all of a sudden, like, it hit me, and he's like, you know what Austin Theory is? And I kind of came out like, I know where he's going, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. But the match was fun. It was a really good main event. The wrestling was good. This show was top notch.
Top to bottom of the show was
when the worst
good.
part of the show is Nikki. The worst part of the show was Nikki Bella coming out and bragging about herself being like the leader of the women's locker room or whatever, and the fans just booing on her. It was still good because the fans bought into it by booing at her, and it was funny. But this show was awesome. The wrestling was really good. The main event, a lot of times these main events, like, it's all hype and like the match is kind of bland. This was a good main event, and it wasn't like 7 minutes and we're out the door. Like, this match went on the equivalent of 3 segments, right, of a commercial show.
Yep. And like, my favorite moment was actually after the match when Braun Breaker finally came out and he snapped CM Punk in two. And he does the go to sleep side, and he's like barking at CM Punk doing this. He's like, woo, whoa. I was like, Braun Breaker's my boy, dude. Everybody in the Vision right now, I just love, because I love the Tribal Thief. I love Braun Breaker. I love everything about them. I like that they're young. They're all wrestlers we're going to get to watch, like, going up. And like, so good. So good.
And Braun's backstage promo that was pre-taped, that was really good. That about a minute or so where he just kind of just talked plain. Like, I like that because Braun gets that, like, he has that serious aspect to him. Like, when he talks, it's almost like, when he's calm, it's almost like Jake the Snake Roberts. It's like very psychological. And then he becomes like Big Papa Pump Scotty Steiner and starts barking and twitching and screaming.
Yes.
So it's like a really cool dichotomy between those two. Hope I'm using the right word, folks. If there's an English major out there, if I'm screwing up, I'm sure they'll let me know. The English Nazis are everywhere.
I know no English. All right, cool. Let's get into the tinfoil hat. This is your tinfoil hat segment, brought to you by Sean, until I get a sponsor, and then we'll make the tinfoil hat like the official sponsor. Anyways, so as Matt and I were talking last night, and I was looking at Austin Theory, and one of the key things I taught, he didn't end him with his typical finisher. He ended the match with a stomp.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know who else uses a stomp. And it really got me thinking. It's Austin Theory is a mole. Is it convenient that he just comes out at all the right times to help the Vision? Now, keep in mind, let's do a little backstory on this. After Seth got hurt, Becky made it a point to tell Paul Heyman was Seth always knew you were going to turn on him. He always knew that. He used you. And I'm like, okay. So now Austin Theory comes out of the ether. Ain't seen Austin Theory in a while, but yet he's all, he was out there to get his foot in with the Vision, which makes it interesting. And I think as we go along, he's going to get settled in. I think at earliest estimates is Seth could be back for Mania. That's like the earliest Seth could be back. That's perfect. Because what's going to happen is you're going to hit a tipping point and Austin Theory is going to turn on somebody in there. Then that got me thinking Logan Paul might be in on it too. Just because Logan Paul's a slimy dude. And I think it would be real interesting where when it comes to, because I think Breaker and Reed are tight, right? Like, I think that they're like kind of battle buddies, so I'm not going to break them up. But like,
yeah,
if
just
you
like
peeled
you said
off
last
Logan
night,
Paul,
like Breaker
and
said,
you peeled off
he told
Austin
Bronson.
Theory,
yeah,
yep.
That exchange.
But
back
if
there,
you
he says,
peel
"I'll
those
have
two
your
off,
back." Sure,
you'll have an amazing program. And what you need is when it's time, and this is why you let it fester, right? So we all get comfortable. We're all like, yeah, the Vision, it's all four of these guys, man. They're all out there doing their thing. And when it comes time for Seth, and when the hammer happens, Seth just, this is when he comes up to Paul Heyman and he goes, I am the architect. I knew you were going to betray me. I was hurt. I couldn't be there for my guys. So I made it so that you took them into your stable and elevated them. You did all my work for me, Paul. So what you get then is he already acknowledges that Breaker and Reed betrayed him. That's pretty obvious. But what he does do is ultimately it's about screwing over Paul Heyman. So basically, hey, you invested time, energy, and effort into these two guys. They were my guys. They've always been my guys. And like, and the beauty of that is Seth already getting his initial payback against Paul Heyman. And it's so poetic. And I think it's the right thing to do, man. Like, if they pull that string, like I said, though, we don't want to rush this. This needs to be like glacially, bloodliney slow. It needs to just fester because we all need to be watching the weekly shows just comfortable can be that those four dudes are all part of the Vision, all four of them until it's time.
yeah. I mean, I want them to
there
write
you go.
it so
Tinfoil hat.
Yep. I want them to write it so like you and I doubt it. Like, well, maybe we're wrong on this one, and then they pull the trigger on it. So, yeah, and the thing is too, the main color for the Vision is black. Austin Theory was in gray, which I looked at a couple ways. Yep, he's applying for a job with the Vision, so he's wearing gray. But also, are we working in shades of gray here with Austin Theory? So the thing is, once he becomes the Vision, I would tell people to probably take close note and see how Austin Theory dresses if his outfits go towards more of that blackish. Because, like you even said last night, Logan Paul has gotten less bright the longer he's with the Vision. There's not as much all that yellow. They've toned it back. Yeah, Logan Paul doesn't look like he's in a Striper tribute band anymore. And of course,
True.
The Bronze, they're all in blacks. If this means anything, Austin Theory should go full black when
It's
he's in the
slimming.
Vision. Well, maybe I need to switch some colors out then. I'm like almost
Same.
about
Gray
looking
is
like
not my
Captain Lou
color.
Albano here with this shirt.
I got some rubber bands. You can borrow them.
I'm sticking them in my cheek, that's for sure. But no,
No,
it's an interesting theory. I would love to see it happen. We talked at length about this, but yeah, I think the fans they saw a different Austin Theory last night. So I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, this is the guy
That's
that
what
Vince
we needed."
pushed. This is not the same guy that Vince shoved down your throat. This is the guy that he should have been from the get-go. So he looked good. Carried himself well. I liked his and Bronson Reed's interaction. I thought they worked well together. So, there was nothing groundbreaking. They weren't hugging it out, but they worked cohesively together. So it's going to be interesting to see going forward how this goes.
So Matt, let me ask you this: Has WWE been that bad this year? Because I was chuckling while we were talking about this. We went from vilifying like a week ago. I use the equation that like when it was the Bloodline storyline, the writers were writing War and Peace, and now they're doing everything in crayon, right? Like I actually said that on this podcast, and like now here we are after one good Raw, one good taped Raw. We're like, now we're writing all these elegant storylines again, like in our heads. But this is a podcast about storylines, so we're allowed to talk about that. And maybe they are listening and they're like, oh shit, they're onto something,
Or let's just see, it's been one show. Let's see if they can run some stuff together. I'm very interested to see, and I already know one of the results for Friday night, but I'm interested to see how good SmackDown is Friday night, because from what I'm gathering, it was recorded the same night as Raw. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, I'm going to hold off on my I don't see butterflies and rainbows and like a candy cane swirling around yet for WWE. They had a really good show last night, like one of the best all around shows in a few months here. So let's just hope this isn't just the exception. Let's hope they get back on track. But I'm gonna hold my judgment. But again, we're getting ready to go on the road to WrestleMania season, so stuff's gonna heat up. So we'll just have to wait and see.
I am really curious. So
here's another thing, Sean. Last
Royal
night
Rumble
I said,
is.
Hey, Sean, before we get to Rumble, remember last night I mentioned something like, could this whole like wacky year with WWE, could a lot of it? And I even said like, not really. The women's roster was booked really good, and a lot of good storylines. But like you said, like the injury bug kind of ate up a lot of the women's locker. But like the men this year, like storylines were lacking, and I just wonder if it was all so much focus on the Cena retirement tour that they had a lot of stuff that kind of just didn't add up on the men's roster side.
I feel like they phoned a lot of shit in this year, but this is why I keep on harping on this. We're in a transition period, right? Like they have to find their footing, right? Like we can't just throw wrestlers together and expect a worthy rivalry. Like we've talked about it like multiple times. Like Cody Randy is a worthy rivalry. Like that is something that you want. Cody, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns should always go tooth and nail for their entire effing careers. Always. There is always that connection, and it goes way back. That should always happen. Those are legitimate. We give a flying leap of hoo-hoo about that rivalry. The problem is we're in a transition. We are getting to know these wrestlers. Now, keep in mind, we're probably the greatest case study for this if your stuff is working, which is, I see somebody new. So let's take Lash Legend. Lash Legend's actually a good one. Right now, because she's new, and because I'm getting to know her, I am impressed with her in-ring work. I am impressed in watching her. However, we're not fully there yet because I haven't gotten to know the character. So that matters. That's the complete set, right? Like you've made it when I understand and I give a good or bad a crap about you, right? Like, and I think she's impressive, but it's going to take time. But Femi, when he comes up, impressive, going to take time. It's very rare that you can just blast somebody through. Carmelo Hayes is just hitting on all freaking cylinders right now, and it took him a while. It took him a while to really get. He was always kind of good on the mic, but it took him a while to fully connect. And I love Carmelo Hayes. Like, after the Vision, it's Carmelo Hayes for me, man. Like, I'll watch that kid all day.
Shoot, we were talking earlier in the year
time.
about how Carmelo, we were kind of, me mostly, I was kind of like wanting Carmelo Hayes to go to the Vision. Like, if they were going to pick up another guy, I thought he was a good candidate. is a good candidate to win the Cena tournament.
He was a brilliant
this is a guy
freaking candidate to win the Cena tournament.
Yeah. So we're high on that guy. So yeah, we're seeing good things. I'm excited about the future for that guy. He's cashing in, boy, on opportunities. So we'll see what the end of this year, next year brings for Carmelo Hayes. Even though we already know a little bit, but we're not going to put out spoilers.
All right, Matt, tell the folks where to find us, man. Let's let these folks go. Enjoy their Christmas time with their families. You know, thank you for sharing with us as always. But, Matt, let the folks know where to find us.
Sure. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And again, our podcasts are also on YouTube. Hey, thank you a lot. We've had a lot of likes and comments. We've actually picked up quite a few subscribers on YouTube. So please, thank you so much. It really gets us excited when we go on there and we get new subscribers across the platform. So we definitely have seen an uptick in that. So appreciate it. I just want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and I'll wish you a Happy New Year next week because we'll be here next Tuesday. That's all I got, Sean. Back to you.
Yep. All right, folks. Again, like Matt said, we've seen an uptick in our subscribers. Thank you. Keep those likes, subscribes. Hey, not just likes and subscribes. Comments. Share with us. Give us your thoughts. Look, you already tell that we pay attention to these comments. We hear you. You know, do we agree? Not necessarily, but that's okay, man. That's okay. Like, we're not here to agree. We're here to talk wrestling. Never going to agree. You know, my Mount Rushmore is different than Matt's, you know, but like, no, thank you. And from the bottom of my heart, Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy Hanukkah to everyone. Just watch out for each other. It's the holidays. Make sure you're, you know, love each other and all that good stuff. But, you know, that's it for this week, folks. Go home. You know, thank you for sharing the podcast with us. Thank you for listening to us. And again, we'll talk to y'all next week. We'll talk our New Year's resolutions for WWE. Again, shout out to Mikey and the BC Wrestling Pod over there. Thank you for having us. If you guys want to check it out, go check out their sites and follow their content. It's their year-end review show. It was a good time. Fun was had by all. But yeah, folks, thank you. Merry Christmas. And we will definitely talk to y'all next week.